So here was a bit of a rare gem that came out earlier in the year. An isekai not about a black-haired bloke transported to a peaceful circular city where he's given a stupidly powerful ability and who goes on an epic journey to assemble a complete checklist of one-note girls without the sense to date any of them. No, this one, now get this, is about someone who becomes a spider and has to figure out what to do. Amazing, I know. But seriously, this one's written by people who actually want to tell an interesting story, and not photocopiers hacking out the same plot with exactly one gimmick. First off, Sama Spider absolutely nails its spider action. It's fast-paced, well choreographed, and most importantly, the main character actually faces constant hardship in her battles. Especially when the creatures tear off her legs and eyes, wounds she often recovers instantly before death, which I felt hurt the tension. But hey ho, it's not like she isn't constantly on the brink of death throughout the show, well at least for the first 15 episodes before she obtains pseudo-immortality and the ability to respawn. By that point she's so insanely powerful that there's only around 2 people in the entire world who can possibly kill her. But I definitely say the anime earns it with how much she endures and grinds in the dungeon. Take note, other power fantasy shows, this is how you build up a ridiculously powerful protagonist your viewers can be invested in. So while she has a shout rivaling that guy from Black Clover for the most ear bleeding, I can absolutely say that plotline is absolutely great. Now everyone better duck because that sentence is loaded. So the other half of the anime centres around a small group of other reincarnations from the same class, who all but one gets to be a human, although one ends up transformed as a lady. Now that last bit sounds interesting, doesn't it? Especially as we find out later that the transformations are based on their true self. Thus a perfect opportunity is set up to add internal conflicts to the character. But nope, it's brought up only 3 times and each time just as a cheap gag. Cheap is a good word to describe this whole plotline, as the only locations involved are Standard Palace, Standard Academy and Elf Village, and almost all of the characters lack any real depth. Shun is just a dull nice guy, these are only here to obsess over Shun, this guy is just Biff with powers, and as mentioned, she is only here for a couple unfunny gags. Only the Dragon Girl and get any actual character developments, though the former is terribly underutilised. She's supposed to have gone on this great character arc where she is humbled after bullying our Spider Girl when they are both human, but you don't actually see her depressed or disadvantaged in this form. She doesn't even seem humble after she gets her human form, so I'm not sure what the writers are trying to do with her. As for why her soul best suits a dragon form, I've got absolutely no idea. As for her character does a superb job. As she herself puts it, her tears note that there's more to it than the rise of Shun, while also being distrustful, adding an actual conflict in the hero gang. Plus you find out later in the long flashback what her motives are, and it too works very well for the whole show. Without question, it's thanks to her, and the idea of the Spider-Girl meeting up with her fellow classmates that made this whole plotline actually watchable. Which brings me on to one of the major plot twists this anime has. So spoiler warning for nutters who watch an extended review of an anime they haven't seen described as good in the title. So it turns out the hero gang stuff takes place long after the adventures of our Spider-Girl. While the twist is delivered very well and with little hints dropped throughout, it unfortunately raises some pretty awkward questions. If these characters have been living for at least 15 years, why haven't these guys met up before? Why aren't any of them inventing stuff from our world? Why haven't they been building their levels since they can practically walk? I mean, this has been done in other anime, so why can't we at least acknowledge what they've done for the many years spent in this world thus far? I get that it's done this way to surprise the viewer, but it just makes all the characters come off as even less believable. Showing some of them using specialised magic or making simple inventions they've spent an unclear long time mastering could have solved this problem. But no, they're only just being introduced to magic. Lastly, I want to mention something else that irks me. Bit of a spoiler, but because of the Demon Lord's webbing, acquiring taboo skills, and this scene, I thought for sure our spider hero was going to become the evil Demon Lord, and was eagerly awaiting that. So when they started fighting a few episodes later, I was completely dismayed. I honestly nearly gave up on it after being tricked like that, but thankfully I pushed my annoyance aside and was delighted to find even better surprises in the subsequent episodes. So in conclusion, while it has its flaws, I recommend Sama Spider for anyone wanting a genuinely unique isekai with outstanding action, a great mystery and interesting twists. And with that, the music shall fade out.